Hey guys, I'm an idiot. What a great intro. The LT432 is, well, I wasn't planning on buying it. However, I saw Skill for LTU's, like, Skill for Lithuania's video on the tank, and, like, I was like, oh shit, this tank's on sale. I need to try it. And so here it is. I spent $60 on this tank, haven't played a single game in it, and I'm going to record my first couple ones. So first thing is to set it up. Everyone knows with light tanks that I'm actually retarded when it comes to light tanks, and I really tend to run vents on my lights, and that's just because I want to get as much DPM as possible. The LT432 though, you can see currently with just brothers in arms and like a 4-skill crew, the view range is 388. So since this thing's a credit earner, I think optics is definitely the best option. And, you know, we're just obviously going to have to run food because, well, the accuracy and everything about this tank without food is pretty substandard. So, all right, now we've got the tank in what I would consider is the best configuration for kind of doing credit grinding as well as doing well in game. You know, you're not going to grind credits a lot if you've got a large repair kit and food. However, I think that's a decent compromise for myself at the very least. So we're going to head into game. And one thing I wanted to point out is look how massive this fucking tank is. Here's a super Pershing. The LT432 is longer. However, it's way shorter. And I think that's where this tank kind of has an edge, you know, when you're fighting or trying to brawl in a Russian like light. All right. So first game, Wargaming has put us into an all tier 8 game and they have two 7032s. Now, I watched the replay of the 7032 and my god, that actually looks really good. I think it's probably going to be a very good tier 8 tank. I just don't really know if I want to spend $150 Canadian dollars on the boxes to try to get it, you know? Like, to me that seems kind of expensive to have the chance at getting a 7032. That being said, I'm going to go over to the one line on this map because actually I could scout. Here's what I'll do. I'll show you a play that kind of works, especially if the enemy team has a lot of tank destroyers, and that's going to be playing it out on the 9-0. And so we have optics, we've got food, we're set up to scout, and their TDs are going to be sitting here, and I should... Holy shit, this thing's quick. I should be able to spot them for my teammates, honestly, especially if we have... Players? Hello? Question mark? Do we have teammates? I put the question marks before my sentences. Incredible. All right. We should get here first, and I think we'll get here before TDs are really aware. There's no Artie in this situation. So what I'm going to do, this vehicle's... Oh, hello. He's doing the exact same thing. So put a shot into him. I didn't realize the alpha was so low. I actually haven't checked out the stats on this tank like at all. That's 2 shots. See, the problem here is, like, they can totally... I have no support. Yeah, okay, watch this. We're going to have to leave. Hopefully we don't get lit on fire as we try. Okay, so yeah, 7032 came this way, and so I'm definitely leaving from this fight because I'm not going to fight a 7032 from the front. Holy shit, I'm so fucking lucky. Alright, so here's how I would say it. I'm unlucky because the 7032 came to this side of the map. I think that's fucking weird from the 7032. However... I'm really lucky that I just didn't die right there, because they totally deserve to kill me. That being said, I'm alive, so what's the next play? Well, in this map, if people push up to here, you can go to the mid and shoot them in the ass, and to me, that looks like a really viable option. Kind of from where the Skoda is, we can put shots into the rear of that 703. So I'm going to play the mid, because to me, it looks like we can at least shoot at him from... Hello? I just noticed that guy. Do I care, though? Not really. And I think... stopping is the worst thing I could do here. Driving with my ping is sometimes hard, especially in fast tanks, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're lucky to only take 1 hit right there, so once again, we get really lucky with the amount of hits that we're taking. However, we should be in a decent position. This guy would be shooting the 703 if he... Maybe he doesn't know? Okay, there's no shots on the 703. That's kind of what I expected at this point, to be honest. And you can see, I actually think the Ferdinand will do all right against the enemy 703. The LT432 seems to have backed off. And now this Pantera here has made a really interesting play. So I'm backing off just because I don't see any use to playing the mid. The Ferdinand's pushed up, so this was a wrong play. I could be farming the Ferdinand right now. However, here I am. There's a Pantera in front of me, and I want to see if I can brawl him. Now, normally I'm not used to this type of fight. So what I want to do is I can see where this P44 is looking, and I think he kind of wants to shoot at me. So I'm going to hold an angle, get unlit, and see if I can catch him off guard by making a play. Now, this is kind of where the alpha damage, I think, sucks. It's 180. Yeah, it's literally 180 on this tank, and so, you know, you would want 240 for this type of fight. Am I spotted? Dude, I'm getting YOLO'd. Holy crap. This is why I love mobile tanks, because that's such a weird play. I never would have predicted it. Okay. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing in this game. I'm so lucky. The Scorpion coming to the mid, I think, is very predictable. Okay, I have to watch the map to make sure the E75 isn't YOLOing me. Scorpion's taking mid, so that means he's flanking the Skoda. So what would happen? Should I help? You know? I'm thinking of doing this. Now, this puts me into a crossfire, so it's really risky, but I want to keep my friend alive. Okay. And I did nothing to keep him alive, but he is alive, so that's good. Now I'm going to have to help him against the E75. So you can see, even though I haven't been actively trying to scout, I do have a lot of spotting damage, and that's partly just because I chose to run optics, you know? And so optics is a great thing to have on your lights or any vehicle, even heavies, because it will just get you credits and experience just by playing. Like, optics works 100% of the time. You just have to be alive. And so really, if you're looking for a way to like easily get more XP or more credits, just put optics on your tanks. Like, it's actually really good. Now, in this case, I would expect the E75 to be looking towards the Skoda. Now, I've made a lot of shitty plays this game, so I'm going to be careful about this. Like, the timing in this game is not what I'm used to at all. It's very weird. But I think that E75 might try to engage the Skoda. So I'm going to tentatively see if I can find this dude. Hello? And here's what I think. If I were him, I would be still in these buildings, but camping the Skoda. There you go. That's exactly what we're looking for. So put a shot to him. He definitely wasn't expecting that. And if I think he's probably going to start camping me. So I'm going to look in third person to see if I can find him. And you can see he YOLO'd me a couple seconds ago. He's probably going to YOLO me again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to camp this corner. There you go. Put a shot into him, and that's exactly what I expected him to do, so I'm glad that worked out. We're up to 1,400 damage and 1,400 assists. In this case, fighting this guy, I don't think it's worth it. I'm on 500 HP. You know, I'd rather let my team kill him. So that seems to be... Well, he's dead now. We need to get more damage out of this. So 1, 2, 3. How do you get the most damage in a situation where you're two-shot? Well, all of their team except an STRV is spotted. So the last STRV is probably here. What I'm going to do is see if I get lit right now. I'm YOLOing forward to get damage. Okay. Oh, there's the STRV. Who are they missing? Scorpion G. Oh, I just pushed what I thought was an STRV. It could have been a Scorpion. Holy shit. What I'm going to do is we're going to chase that full HP Scorpion. I'm going to ignore the Egg Panther. That's not enough HP. We'll see. Hello. Okay, I went... No! Dude! That's so... I feel like this thing might be a matchbox. That guy got... Even if I had a auto extinguisher, I think he would have killed me there. What the hell? Because the auto extinguisher goes off after you take a tick of fire damage. And if you look, that guy hit me for 477 and killed me with the last tick of fire damage. Damn, that really sucks. Oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. God damn it. So... This is a replay. I wanted this game to be live, but let me put it this way. It's so good that I didn't just go record another. This was a phenomenal game I just played in my LT432, and goddammit, I didn't record it live. Basically, I'm going to explain exactly what happened and try to explain the logic of it, and I just played this game, so it's fresh in my mind. So, on this game, this is LT4, like, we know the context, I don't need to describe it. What happened in this game is I've played a couple games in this tank, and none of them have been phenomenal, and I was looking for an epic game at this point, because I wanted a good game to show on my channel. Now, I also needed high damage per game in this tank, and like I want it to be kind of in the 1800 range, which is extremely high in this vehicle. If you look at the past 50 days, like no one's above 2k, and so to get 1800 DPG is a lot, and that's clear in my mind. I was not doing well damage per game wise. I was doing well scouting wise, but not DPG wise coming into this game. So we start off on this map by going to the side of the map where there's going to be enemies that I can fight. This thing doesn't have a lot of pen at all. And so what I did is I've come up to A1 with the intent of fighting tanks like the CDC, the Lorraine, the Progetto. Like those are vehicles this thing can take on. That's going to give me damage. And also from this side of the map, I'm going to get spotting. Now look at where my bloody team is going. They're all on the 0 line. And immediately we find out that they've got an enemy with 140. Now this thing can't deal with a 140 at all. So you can see instead of committing to this flank, like normally I don't come up to here, I reverse into the position to try to get side shots on this 140 because we're not going to pen his front. Now from here we do get side shots on the 140, and these are going to be pivotal if we want to do well in this game because we want this 140 out of the fight because he's like, we're not going to this guy can just do anything and beat us. Now, he's luckily enough, he's down 1,000 HP. And from my perspective, I'm kind of like, we should probably run away at this point. They're going to start, the cavalry is going to arrive eventually. Their mediums are going to be here. And it's actually, that just doesn't happen. And the reason I decide to stay is because this EBR does a fantastic job. So the EBR is scouting everyone who's on this flank. And right now it's just the 140 and just the CDC that's been lit. So what do we know? Well, there's probably a bunch of tanks behind the 140 who are camping base. But because of the context, we're able to get up to here. Now, this is where I have some indecision, because normally speaking, what happens is if you push into the enemy base like this, you're going to find a lot of them are just going to sit on this ridge. On this map, that's very common. It's a common camping spot. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to be someone who sits on this ridge just to get clicked by Artie and like killed by everyone camping in their base. And so I fall back, kind of expecting them to just push into us because we are just 3 tier 8 tanks. If we have no 10s on this flank, they should have the initiative with all their mediums and their Artie support, and they just never push. So I come back to this position knowing it's likely to get me focused by Artie. The 140 dies, and from here, I'm able to put this tree in between myself and the 49. So if you ever play this flank and you get shots on people in this area, put this tree in between yourself and them, because that's going to keep you safe. So put a shot into the T49. The CDC just freaking YOLOs this Progetto. And what happens here is I have the gun depression to shoot at the CDC without, like, I don't have to go over this ridge. So I'm taking advantage of that, and that keeps me safe from the Progetto, who's to my left playing the ridge, and this is actually why that play works. Now, of course, I get clicked. It's 436 damage, so that's a third of my, that's actually basically half of my HP gone right there, and that's just inherent to playing this side of the map. It's going to happen, but this is still a great game, so we managed to make it work. Now, because I get clicked, I know Artie's reloading. I was mentoring someone the other day, and a lot of people that I've noticed kind of have the response to fall back the second they get shot. You don't want to have that response, because if you get shot, it means the enemy's reloading, and so you have an opportunity to take advantage of them there. And so that's why I'm not leaving immediately. You can see what I've done is I've positioned my tank to get out of here just in case they get spotted, and I'm going to camp these guys because I'm A, trusting my camo, and B, trusting the fact that they have to come all the way over the ridge to allow me to put a shot into them before they spot me. And so I think I should be reasonably already safe. And that's exactly what happened. So the Progetto pushes over the ridge. I go for the track on him. I don't have the alpha to track him. And this is where I'm like, oh shit, I'm spotted. I'm going to get focused by Artie. I'm in an LT432. Can't get clicked. And here I'm just praying that I don't get clicked. And it doesn't happen. So we come back to this flank. We're going to look for shots in the T49, the Progetto, anyone who pushes up. And the EBR pieced out from the side of the map, and he's now in the mid. So what I want you to do is watch the kill feed here. The EBR is going to die. He's driving around in the middle of an open field, and he's going to die to, well, the UDES. So the UDES kills him. What does that imply? Well, it implies that the UDES has kind of gone back to this area because he had a decent shot enough to kill that EBR. The EBR is really hard to hit at long range, and so I kind of doubt that the UDES just sat here. I bet he went back to here to get that shot because it's hard to hit an EBR at long range. So that's my justification. And because of that, I decide to move up. Now, that's not what happened at all. You can see the UDES managed to hit a fantastic shot, and he's on that ridge. And so this is where, like, I went and scouted them. That's fine. And the T49 decides to YOLO. So the T49 is YOLOing the Progetto, and this is where the entire dynamic of this flank is about to change. The T49 YOLOs the Progetto, dies, and now it's just myself, a tier 8 tank against a Progetto, a UDES, and presumably the 212A, who's probably going to focus me down because I'm a light tank in the field. He doesn't want to die. So what I have to do in this context is I have to run away. Now, there's a couple things you could think of doing. One of them is actually sitting in a bush like this and spotting the enemies as they push in. Now, I thought of that. The problem is, who am I spotting for? Look at my entire team. The only player I'd be spotting for is a single Artie, and literally no one is in this area at all who's ready to get shots. And if you look at the STB1 and watch him play, you know, you could say maybe he would go back to base as he learned that they were pushing down the one line. He goes so late, so it's really good that I played like this. And my plan initially was to go help out the city, because I kind of felt like what would happen is we'd kill the enemies here, and then as we push down the K line, they would die. And so I was thinking eventually we'll lose the city. I want to be the one who scouts them by getting under here and making sure they don't die as they drive down the K line. Now, my experience, that's a really aggressive play, and it doesn't work. And so here I'm going to try something new. We know that this Progetto is in a situation where he wants to push into our base. We've got nothing preventing that. We've just myself and a tier 8 light tank. And what he has to do to push into our base is he either has to drive down the A line, which is an open field, or come up the mid. And so what I've done is I'm going to reverse into this bush to try to spot the Progetto, who's going to be backed up by the UDES. And this is taking a gamble, because if the Progetto decided to come up the road, I really wouldn't spot him until he got to here, and then he'd proxy spot me, and I'd get hit by him and the Progetto and the UDES. And so I'm taking a gamble, and you can see I'm I'm watching that, but the Progetto does exactly what, you know, is kind of a worse play, and drives down the middle of an open field, and I'm able to put a shot into him. The first one doesn't get me spotted because there's this tree in the middle, and he's driving in the middle of the open. So what I'm going to do is I want to track him so that Artie can finish him off, and so I don't have to deal with this entire fucking Progetto. Put a couple shots in his direction. I think only one of them pens, and immediately the UDES puts a shot into me. So I noticed the UDES is stock, and you can see this is me weaving back and forth. I don't want him to get another shot into me. Stock guns typically have really high DPM. So as a light tank driver, you never want to fight someone who's stock because they've got really high DPM and they'll just absolutely wreck you, especially if it's something in a UDES. Now, at this point, I'm going to pause it here because a lot happened. I could have tried to fight the Progetto from right here. Now, I decided not to do that, and that's because the Progetto had a major bush advantage, and he would be able to basically get up to this house before I spotted him. And so what I decided to do is I wanted to position myself in hard cover. This is going to get me closer to the STB1, closer to the Artie. This is overall a decent play. Now, the STB1 decides to help me. So what I decide to do is, because I've got the STB1 with me, is I come up to here, and you can see the Progetto is just bombing down the A-line looking for me, and I'm going to use this mound here for hard cover against the Progetto. So he's YOLOing me as quickly as he can. Artie gets a shot into him. The STB gets a shot into him. I'm trying to finish him off right here. The STB1 gets the kill. And now, where do you think that UDES is? So the UDES was backing up that Progetto reasonably. He moved up to A1. We know that. Now, in my mind, the UDES probably moved up with the Progetto up to about A6 to support him because, you know, once I'm dead, the UDES is going to want shots. So what I'm thinking is the UDES is somewhere in the trees, and then immediately after the STB1 pings A7. So what is my play? Well, I think I'm probably unspotted by now. The UDES is going to be looking to the left, kind of trying to put shots into the STB1, and I try to sneak up the red line to catch this guy off guard. Unfortunately, the UDES is ready for it and looking right at me. So we put a shot into him, and this is exactly what this tank is designed for. You can see the UDES can't do anything at all. We've got him entirely to ourselves, and he's just running away. Now, as he's running away, I'm not looking at him. I'm just auto-aiming him, and I'm looking at the enemy team lineup because I want to know, is there anyone unspotted who poses a threat to me? And right now, no. The only threat is going to be Artie, who should focus me down because I'm going to yell. Like, Artie's going to know. He knows I'm going to... The entire field's clear. I've just got Artie, and what I want to do right now is I want to kill the Artie as quickly as I can before my teammates in the city get there. So we don't need to watch this. It's just driving. I can speed it up. But basically, what I decide to do is, instead of coming through the one line, which is what most light tank drivers do, is I decided to come kind of low down. And this is going to give me a bit more of a hidden approach when approaching the FV, because I expected the FV to be back here and maybe even G1. And so by coming up the mid, I just had more cover from the G1 position. And you can see from here, we even have shots where the FE is. Now, I actually thought the FE wouldn't be there. I thought the FE would have moved and gone up to here to like try to counter me. That's not what happened. So I made a bit of a wrong prediction, but still, this was the right play. And so here I notice Artie fires at me. The FE is a one shot. And because Artie just fired, I'm going to YOLO him. So normally, if you were YOLOing this position, you'd expect Artie to be in these bushes trying to get a shot into as you drive into position. And the Artie totally could. But he fired, and so I'm assuming he's backed off and he's not really going to know I'm coming. So what I'm doing is I'm approaching from the right, because by approaching from the right, you'll see, well, I get the Artie to look to the right because he's got to predict that I'm going to go somewhere. And that gives me a major opening to drive to the left, and this is where I have him. So we're going to go for the track, try to get him. And this is where I move forwards. I would really, like, I was worried that my own Artie was going to team kill me. Luckily, this thing reloads fast enough, and that's our second kill and 3,600 damage. What a game. This was a 120,000 game. It's game 6 in my LT432. We got a mastery badge on game 6 in this tank, and this is supposed to be one of the hardest tanks to 3-mark in the game, if I recall, and one of the hardest tanks to get a mastery badge. And oh my lord, that was fantastic. Now, we came second place on the team for damage in a tier 8 light tank. First place by far for XP because we did 3,600 damage, 1,261 spotting, and in the end, we profited 60k with this tank. So I don't have it run up to like maximized profit. If I did, I would run way less gold. Gold's really expensive in premium tanks, and that's where wargaming gets you. However, 60k profit's exactly what I'm looking for in this type of tank, especially on the great games, and that's just a phenomenal game. So far, I'm really enjoying this tank. I think it's phenomenal. I'm really excited to make more videos with this tank. I really want to review it and so on. And yeah, I'm going to call the video here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye-bye.